A woman immediately got together with a junior after breaking up with her boyfriend. The junior was very attentive to her and wanted to have sex on their first night out alone. Joo Eun-ho is a news anchor. During her relationship, she liked to act spoiled and willful with her boyfriend. Her favorite thing was making him choose between herself and various commitments. They spent 8 sweet years together. Today, the head of the news department asked Joo Eun-ho to take over the 4 p.m. live broadcast. She refused, as she is a morning news anchor and has worked hard to make it successful. She couldn't give it up easily. The head insisted, but Joo Eun-ho suggested it was the era of Danmei and recommended choosing a male anchor from the afternoon broadcast to partner with another male anchor for the live show. The head was very angry. At that moment, a male anchor volunteered to take over the afternoon slot. It was Jung Hyun-oh, Joo Eun-ho's ex-boyfriend, who they had recently broken up with. Hearing this, the head initially tried to dissuade him since Jung Hyun-oh was a star anchor and the afternoon slot had low viewership. Jung Hyun-oh insisted, claiming since Joo Eun-ho couldn't be persuaded, he would host it himself. The head became desperate and loudly demanded that Joo Eun-ho convince Jung Hyun-oh to give up. Joo Eun-ho approached Jung Hyun-oh, thinking he still had feelings for her. Jung Hyun-oh said he was doing it just to avoid awkwardness. Joo Eun-ho still urged Jung Hyun-oh to let go of his love for her sooner. Jung Hyun-oh compromised first, stating he liked the morning slot and would try to move the afternoon broadcast to the morning so Joo Eun-ho could continue in her early shift. Joo Eun-ho mocked Jung Hyun-oh, doubting he could do it, but Jung Hyun-oh managed to change the program timing. The original senior had no time to host, so Jung Hyun-oh had to replace him. Joo Eun-ho became self-absorbed again, falling into the illusion that her ex-boyfriend still loved her. To get revenge on her ex who had harshly broken up with her, Joo Eun-ho decided to become extremely beautiful. She did as she said and showed up at the next live broadcast with exquisite makeup and a captivating hairstyle. Unexpectedly, Jung Hyun-oh did not yield to Joo Eun-ho and stole her closing line. Joo Eun-ho did not back down and stepped on Jung Hyun-oh with her high heels. After the broadcast, the staff wrapped a jacket around Joo Eun-ho's lower half because her skirt had torn. The staff then mentioned that if Jung Hyun-oh hadn't stolen the line, the camera would have captured Joo Eun-ho's skirt tearing. Joo Eun-ho began to fantasize again, still suspecting that Jung Hyun-oh had feelings for her. Junior Moon Ji-on had a crush on Joo Eun-ho and hoped she would stop disliking Jung Hyun-oh. In Moon Ji-on's view, Joo Eun-ho's dislike was actually an obsession with Jung Hyun-oh. Suddenly, Joo Eun-ho suggested going on a date with Moon Ji-on. Delighted by the goddess's initiative, Moon Ji-on scheduled the date for this weekend. Their conversation was overheard by Jung Hyun-oh. During a meeting, Jung Hyun-oh deliberately asked the staff about the weekend's work schedule. Learning about a shoot related to marine trash, he immediately instructed to send Joo Eun-ho there. The staff thought no one would want to film such a low-grade program, but Jung Hyun-oh was confident that Joo Eun-ho would participate. Indeed, Joo Eun-ho agreed very promptly. This time the shoot was set for 14 minutes. Having been an anchor for 14 years, he had never monopolized the screen for so long. However, due to scheduling over the weekend, Joo Eun-ho had to cancel his date with Moon Ji-on. Surprisingly, Moon Ji-on planned to go with Joo Eun-ho, and they might even share a room. On Saturday morning, the production team contacted Jung Hyun-oh to report that Joo Eun-ho brought Moon Ji-on to the filming site. The shoot was scheduled for 2 days and 1 night, leading everyone to suspect the two were dating. On hearing this, Jung Hyun-oh immediately got up from bed and requested that the shoot be completed within the day. Following Jung Hyun-oh's instructions, the staff, despite tough conditions, managed to finish everything in 1 day. Seeing Joo Eun-ho struggle in the tide like seaweed, Moon Ji-on laughed heartily and thoughtfully handed Joo Eun-ho cold medicine, even giving her his sweater to wear. Meanwhile, with Joo Eun-ho not yet back, Jung Hyun-oh grew anxious and kept calling her, but the calls went unanswered. In the evening, after returning in Moon Ji-on's car, he asked Joo Eun-ho why she wanted to date him. Joo Eun-ho admitted her dislike for Jung Hyun-oh, explaining how, despite her best efforts and urgency, she could never fully have him. Moon Ji-on understood that her dislike was actually the opposite and knew his own feelings well. No matter where Joo Eun-ho's heart was, he would keep drawing closer to her until she let go of Jung Hyun-oh. Listening to Moon Ji-on, Joo Eun-ho felt flustered, but unexpectedly, Moon Ji-yeon suddenly moved closer and kissed her hand. Joo Eun-ho was very alarmed. The scene shifted to a parking management office where Joo Eun-ho became a parking attendant, looking completely different with long bangs covering her eyes. More strangely, she was being called Joo Hyeri. Joo Hyeri told a colleague about an unusual dream she had where she was a news anchor who broke up with her boyfriend, went to the beach for a shoot, and kissed a junior. The dream felt very real and left Joo Hyeri quite confused. Her therapist suggested she try to create an interesting life, such as falling in love, which made Joo Hyeri blush as she already had someone she liked. Joo Hyeri admired a man named Kang Joo-yeon, also a news anchor. Taking the opportunity to distribute parking guides at the news station, Joo Hyeri had secretly observed Kang Joo-yeon, noticing his aloof yet kind demeanor. Influenced by female-centric web novels, Joo Hyeri believed that such a man, though cold to others, would be very good to his woman. However, facing her crush, Joo Hyeri dared not confess, hiding instead until she noticed Kang Joo-yeon getting close to a female anchor. Determined not to let the female anchor steal her man, Joo Hyeri decided to boldly confess, confident that her beauty would win him over. Just then, a group of people arrived at the TV station to protest a mistaken report about onions by Kang Joo-yeon, with the leader brandishing a pickaxe at him. Joo Hyeri rushed in as she passed by, placing a box over a protester's head. She then grabbed Kang Joo-yeon and ran away as the protester chased persistently. Unintentionally, Kang Joo-yeon covered Joo Hyeri's lips with her palm while hiding. After the protester was dragged away, Kang Joo-yeon expressed her concern to the heroic Joo Hyeri. Hearing warm words from the man she secretly loved, Joo Hyeri was stunned and then kissed Kang Joo-yeon. Surprised by the kiss from a stranger, Kang Joo-yeon froze. While Joo Hyeri left happily, waving her sleeve under his shocked gaze. After kissing her crush, Joo Hyeri rode her bike home. Someone called her from behind, strangely calling her Joo Eun-ho. Joo Eun-ho turned around to find her ex-boyfriend from her dreams, Jung Hyun-oh, calling her. Joo Hyeri was puzzled, wondering how a person from her dreams could appear in reality. Oddly, her psychiatrist also called her Joo Eun-ho, and the records revealed that news anchor Joo Eun-ho was her true identity. Realizing that Joo Eun-ho was not a fictional character from her dreams and that she was indeed Joo Eun-ho, Joo Hyeri was shocked. The previous night, as a parking attendant, she saved Kang Joo-yeon, whom she had long adored. However, Jung Hyun-oh called her Joo Eun-ho and mentioned Joo Eun-ho filming with juniors, criticizing her for mixing personal and professional lives. Confused, Joo Hyeri shouted that she was not Joo Eun-ho. The next day, her psychiatrist explained that Joo Hyeri and Joo Eun-ho were the same person, suffering from dissociative identity disorder. Disbelieving, Joo Hyeri noted a scar unique to her, which then disappeared. Despite her doubts, she woke up at 4 a.m, put on her glasses, and pinned back her bangs. After getting ready, she arrived at the news station as Joo Eun-ho. At work, Joo Eun-ho forgot her access card, but Jung Hyun-oh helped her in. Outside the elevator, he mentioned Joo Eun-ho pretending not to recognize him the previous night, which Joo Eun-ho didn't remember at all. At the news station, junior Moon Ji-yeon was upset with Joo Eun-ho over the previous night's events. Moon Ji-yeon had kissed Joo Eun-ho, who felt almost moved but resisted. Misunderstood, Moon Ji-yeon was angry all day. After work, Joo Eun-ho went home to sleep. At 4 p.m, she switched back to Joo Hyeri's personality, styled her hair, and went to the parking lot for work. Excited, she told a colleague about kissing Kang Joo-yeon. As Kang Joo-yeon approached, Joo Hyeri quickly hid under a table. Kang Joo-yeon asked about Joo Hyeri's whereabouts. A colleague falsely claimed that Joo Hyeri had not arrived at work on time. After Kang Joo-yeon left, Joo Hyeri explained to her colleagues that she was avoiding Kang Joo-yeon as a tactic called playing hard to get, a strategy she learned from online novels. It was said to make someone fall deeper in love. That evening, after work, Kang Joo-yeon went to the parking lot again to ask if Joo Hyeri had come to work. At that moment, Joo Hyeri, holding a cardboard box, was leaving the newsroom where Kang Joo-yeon worked and bumped into him right outside the door. Kang Joo-yeon asked her directly why she had kissed him the previous night. He could not find a logical reason or answer. Just as she was about to respond, Hyeri noticed Kang Joo-yeon's eyes twinkling with a smile as he spoke with another colleague. Seeing Kang Joo-yeon so polite and handsome made Hyeri burst into tears. Unexpectedly, Kang Joo-yeon left with a cold expression. Hyeri cried all the way to the parking lot and shared her feelings of unfairness with a colleague. Kang Joo-yeon's reaction was nothing like the scenarios described in the online novels. Back home, Hyeri was still upset and wrote in her diary about Kang Joo-yeon getting angry with her, blaming her own rudeness for upsetting the man she liked. However, at 4 a.m, her alarm went off, and Hyeri switched back to her other personality, Joo Eun-ho, and went to the newsroom for work, forgetting last night's events. By 4 p.m, she switched back to Hyeri, and at the parking lot, gave Kang Joo-yeon 1,000 paper stars she had folded and left at the reception. The junior anchor, Baek Hee-yeon, handed the stars to Kang Joo-yeon, encouraging him to make a wish. However, Kang Joo-yeon coldly turned and walked away. Baek Hee-yeon called out to him, and unexpectedly, Kang Joo-yeon shouted back loudly, a departure from his usual demeanor. Baek Hee-yeon wasn't angry, but hoped that Kang Joo-yeon would open up so that his wishes could come true. After work, Kang Joo-yeon followed a door marked "Open a New World" into the office and opened the bag of stars from Hyeri, finding a letter inside. In the letter, Hyeri candidly expressed her feelings for Kang Joo-yeon. Reading her somewhat clumsy words, Kang Joo-yeon felt something different in his heart and realized he had often found himself watching Hyeri. That night, back in the parking lot, Kang Joo-yeon again asked Hyeri why she had kissed him that day. Hyeri replied it was for the same reason she wrote in the letter, because she liked him. After her confession, she apologized, prepared for rejection. But Kang Joo-yeon did not blame her. He admitted that his own behavior in questioning her was also inappropriate. He confessed that his mood had been strange since their kiss, and that his anger started when he saw Hyeri crying. Now he was no longer angry because he understood the reason behind her kiss. Hyeri confessed again, saying she truly liked Kang Joo-yeon and that she had been happy during her time of unrequited love. After speaking, both turned to leave, but stopped, hesitated briefly, then walked towards each other. Knowing that night was Kang Joo-yeon's first kiss made Hyeri even more curious about him. Kang Joo-yeon was also curious about what kind of person Hyeri was. She then got into Kang Joo-yeon's car, eager to get to know the man she liked better. At midnight, Kang Joo-yeon took Hyeri to his home. There, he had photos with his brother. When Hyeri asked about them, Kang Joo-yeon revealed that his brother had died years ago. He explained that his mother often fell ill because of it, and sometimes mistook him for his deceased elder brother. Hyeri responded, "The fact that you are still alive is a good thing." Her simple words touched Kang Joo-yeon deeply. She then sat down and shared about herself, explaining she was an only child and both her parents had passed away, leaving her with nothing. But now, she said, she had Kang Joo-yeon. He smiled warmly at this, a smile Hyeri found exceptionally attractive. She planned to speak with Kang Joo-yeon's mother, suggesting gratitude rather than dwelling on sadness. Her words seemed to resolve a long-standing issue in Kang Joo-yeon's heart. By 4 a.m, Hyeri's personality shifted back to Joo Eun-ho. Waking up in a strange room with a strange man asleep on the living room sofa, Joo Eun-ho was shocked. Worried about a possible one-night stand, she quietly gathered her clothes. She noticed Kang Joo-yeon's work badge on the table. At work, Joo Eun-ho researched Kang Joo-yeon and discovered that the man from last night was a news anchor at another media company. She asked a colleague to find out more about him. Meanwhile, her team planned to shoot a segment inside a refrigerated truck showcasing seafood. The producer intended to assign the task to the prominent Jung Hyun-oh, but he offered the opportunity to Joo Eun-ho instead, leading the team to suspect that Jung still had feelings for her, which he denied. The producer briefed Joo Eun-ho on the shoot, which turned out just as Jung Hyun-oh had predicted. That evening, Joo Eun-ho entered the refrigerated truck to start filming, but unexpectedly found a body inside and accidentally got locked in. As the temperature inside dropped, Joo Eun-ho, shivering from the cold, messaged her producer to hurry and help her. While waiting and resisting the cold, she thought of Jung Hyun-oh, but her pride prevented her from asking for his help. Fortunately, A colleague soon arrived to open the truck. To her surprise, she saw Jung Hyun-oh approaching from the shadows. During their past relationship, Joo Eun-ho had asked him if he would save her if she fell into water, to which Jung always jokingly told her to save herself. Seeing her ex, who she couldn't let go of, Joo Eun-ho felt wronged and asked, "Why did you come?" Jung Hyun-oh seemed unable to answer.